Throwaways podcast.
Yeah.
Still,
you
I'm
do.
the best clapper on the planet.
Yeah, you do have a good clap.
And in class, whenever there's a presentation, I always try and clap until the very end and get the last clap in and do a really, really loud one.
You're just a big kid.
Yeah, I will wear that title proudly.
Dude, how was your weekend? Because mine was all right. We're kind of just gonna we're kind of gonna freestyle this. It seems this episode, but that's okay.
Fine with that. We got some topics to talk about.
There's some fun ones too.
Not necessarily a business topic today, but a couple big sports stories that have broken in the last few days.
Ja Morant's doing business.
Oh, he's trying to lose business is what he's doing. We'll get into that, but yeah, it was a good weekend. I went to a music festival. Definitely made Monday morning a little tough, but saw my two favorite artists, Odessa and Lane 8. So can never complain about that. Both of them put on wonderful shows. 10 minutes, 15 minutes away from the crib. Wasn't gonna miss that. So that was fun.
And you're gonna see Illenium in 10 days, 11 days.
Yeah, Illenium is the boy. I mean, that's probably three of my top 5 favorite artists in a 2-week span. So
That's doing all right.
I feel pretty good about that.
Yeah, man, that's doing good. Cool. So what do you want to talk about first? We have Derek Carr. He got a bag. Ja Morant is doing the opposite of getting a bag.
We'll go Ja first. I'll give you the floor. Initial thoughts. Well, I guess to set the stage for those who might not be indoctrinated into the.
Wait, I want to say this because I got a notification on my phone when you and I were together on Saturday, and I said, what I said? I said Ja Morant Instagram live at 5 a.m. with a gun in his hand, and you were like your reaction was just so hilarious. You were just like, yeah, what the fuck? And then you were like, Instagram live 5 a.m. gun in your hand, everyone can see after a loss. What are we doing?
Yeah. What are we doing? You said that's probably what the GM, the coach, his manager, his agent.
He's been saying that all day.
All said. Yeah. What are we doing? And especially on top of, so it recently came out that last year he had a 17-year-old at his house and was playing basketball with him. They got in a fight. He beat the kid up, punched him while he was down, and then went into his house and got a gun. His entourage threatened the Pacers bus after a game, and it's alleged that they were shining a laser pointer, faking that there was a gun. I think he beat up a bouncer or something. And now
I think Ja Morant has hands. Probably has paws.
He probably does. But when you put a gun in those hands and wave it around on Instagram Live, it's just not a good idea.
Yeah.
It's yeah. What were your thoughts on this whole fiasco?
Well, and then once the thing about the Instagram club thing came out, I read into it more and went through the timeline of all this shit that he's been involved with, and specifically read about him beating up the 17-year-old, and it read kind of like a police report. The details were very official. But as I read, I kind of could translate it, and I've seen this video on World Star before. He knocked the kid out in one punch, and when the kid was asleep on the floor, didn't stop, just kept going. I've seen that video, and the ESPN article just described it and repeatedly hit him, and it's no, he knocked him out and beat the shit out of him while he was unconscious. So, yeah, I think, and I guess there's this thing going around. He's not really like that. He comes from a well-to-do family. He went to a private high school in South Carolina.
I don't think he went to a private high school, though.
I think he did. I think he did, but...
You keep saying that, and I don't think he did.
I was told this, and I'll look it up, but I'm pretty sure... And, just because he went to a private high school, they could have had him there on scholarship or whatever, but I'm pretty sure he did.
But notwithstanding, he comes from a good family and had a good reputation before this, but you say that he's not like this. I think he's proving that he is, or at least he's for some reason trying to be.
Yeah.
Which is the exact opposite of what he should be doing right now, with all of the doors that are open to him. You know, there's a changing of the guard coming in the NBA with LeBron, Kevin Durant, Chris Paul, all these superstars who've been around for a long time, nearing the end of their careers. There's a young generation that's gonna step up, and I mean, Giannis is kind of bridging the gap between the old guard and the new, but then you have guys like Tatum and Ja and Luka really emerging, and he has potential of being like the face of the NBA.
The literal face of the NBA.
Yeah, he's got a $200 million contract. He's got a new signature shoe deal. He's got a Powerade contract. Nike, like the world is at his fingertips right now, and he, for some reason, is doing all he can to piss that away. So, it could be a good thing that like, this is happening and no one's gotten like actually hurt. I mean, I feel bad for the kid he beat up, and I guess all the people he's beaten up, but there's been no serious injuries. But now this is coming to light, and you hope that it gives him a kick in the seat of the pants and his camp, at least the good people in his camp that are in it for the right reasons.
Get most of them out of there.
Yeah, exactly. And that's probably some of the soul searching that he needs to do, is surrounding himself with the right people in order to make sure that he stays on the right path, because there's literally hundreds of millions of dollars on the line for him right now, and he's teetering on the edge of losing that.
So it's not a private high school, it is a certified ABC school, which is arts and basic curriculum. So
basically just mean he took like online classes and hooped.
Is that what you think?
Probably.
Yeah.
I've never heard of an
Crestwood
ABC
serves students best by integrating the arts in all areas of our curriculum. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that means it's like a magnet school or something like that, but yeah, either way, I guess you're right. Like, I don't know why he's acting the way he's acting. Did you see this Skip and Shannon, where Skip Bayless was like, maybe he is a Crip? Like, he's thrown up so many gang signs in the last 3 years. It's ridiculous.
I mean, I don't know. I hope he's not gang affiliated. It doesn't seem like it seems like he's just a young
He's 23.
man.
He's 23 years
23,
old.
24?
23, yeah.
23 with serious money and just very immature.
Yeah.
And he's got a lot of learning to do. I mean, you involve guns, and that's never, like, regardless of your age, maturity level, like, that's not cool. You shouldn't be flaunting guns. And I mean, he lives in Tennessee, like, guns are legal there, but another piece of this is, did he bring the gun on a team plane? Like, how did he get it? Because the video was recorded in Denver after they played the Nuggets. They lost. He goes out to a club, which actually, I don't even know if it's a club. Shotgun Willie's, like a place that I snuck into a couple times growing up in the outskirts of Denver. Really fun place, actually. Hilarious that he was there. But yeah, bringing a gun potentially on a team plane is a felony, I think. Like, illegal at a federal level. And then there's the NBA regulations about, I don't know if there's what the specific bylaw is, but you definitely can't bring a gun during team travel. So he's away from the team indefinitely right now. All the confirmation is that it's 2 games. I think it's going to be a lot more. I think there's probably an NBA suspension coming. And
So you said up to 50. If the bring the gun on a plane is just a no. You can't, and it's like you said, it's federal at that point, and yeah, you just can't do that. So I saw something that was saying 50 games, if that's true.
Which would be, I mean, that's the rest of this year.
The playoffs.
And they're the 2 seed right now.
Yeah, they're good. They're good.
Yeah, I don't think they're. I mean, if he goes God mode, they would be a title contender. I don't think so. I think they're a couple pieces short, but just a tough story for one of the bright young stars in the NBA. And like I said, you just hope that he uses it as a learning moment and can turn things around.
Yeah, you hope he gets it together because I mean, I remember when he was coming out, he got drafted with Zion, right? They were high school teammates too. I'm pretty sure.
I think AAU.
AAU
they were on the same AAU team. Yeah, Zion was 1, Ja was 2. And if you were to redraft that, I think I would actually take Ja number 1 over Zion.
Ja plays, yeah.
Yeah, like Zion. I mean,
Zion's better.
more marketable. I don't know.
When Zion plays,
I don't think so. I think Ja's better. I think
I
Ja's
don't know.
better long term potential, health wise. Like
Zion's just gonna get hurt. He's gonna get hurt.
He's gonna have foot issues, ankle issues. Like he's so much weight on that frame, and with that bounce, like you don't hope for it at all. But I just see foot issues throughout Zion's career. But yeah, I mean, Ja coming out of Murray State, really likable kid. Played at a mid-major, like not super highly recruited, and then goes on some sick runs for Murray State through the NCAA tournament. Super well liked, plays himself into the number 2 picked, and just had that like kind of fun, cool reputation. Went to the Grizzlies, not like a major market, and people really liked him and still do like him. But this is certainly given his reputation a hit.
Both of those guys are 2 of the most fun players to watch in the league in terms of talent and just explosiveness, and they're both just amazing athletes. Like Zion, I don't know if there's a player in any sport that is like that big, that moves like that, and is that athletic. Mm-hmm. And then Ja isn't that big at all, but the bounce that he has is just
the bounce is crazy. Like he floats. His ability to finish, being I think 6'2", 6'3", finish at the rim, just hover in midair, attack the basket. He's an exciting player, and I'm definitely thankful that he's going to be missing the game against the Lakers. I believe it's Tuesday night of this week. So that's great for us. We're currently tied for the 10 seed for the play-in game, so we need all the help we can get.
Yeah,
but
and LeBron's not playing, right?
LeBron's out for a while, but yeah, I mean this Ja story is it's crazy. That brings up another point. Gun aside, which like it shouldn't be brushed aside, like the dude had a gun on Instagram Live, which is terrible in and of itself. But like he's on Instagram Live at 5 a.m. on the road after a loss. Like I guess that happens probably fairly often,
rapping
especially
to
for
NBA
young guys with money. But like that's crazy to me.
Yeah.
Like are they traveling somewhere? Like the game was over.
How is that not the baby in the video? That guy that he was with looked so much like the baby. It was insane.
I don't think the baby is going out to shotgun Willie's on a weeknight.
If Ja Morant's there, I don't know.
Maybe
that'd be great though. Yeah, that stinks. Hopefully he gets his shit together, and it needs to happen sooner rather than later, because I think with all the stuff that's happened in the last calendar year, it's he's going down a bad path. So that would stink to see.
Yeah.
This is another kind of bummer story, and it's not a huge story because I feel like you and I know the guy more than most. But Andrew Voorhees tore his ACL. He's an offensive lineman for USC that was supposed to be a 3rd or 4th round pick in the draft, and at the very least top 100. And he tore his ACL at the NFL Combine, which is probably the worst place to tear your ACL if you're an NFL draft prospect.
Yeah, I mean, it sucks regardless of the place, but I think timing wise,
yeah,
because it pretty much just shelves you for your entire rookie year.
And it's a month before your draft position decides how much money you're going to make for the next 5
I just
years.
had like a crazy spin zone. Like, obviously it's going to get publicity. Like, I saw headlines about it, and he's not like, I mean, he's a great player. We know him because we're USC fans. All-American, first team All-American, interior offensive lineman. But does sustaining a bad injury at the Combine actually like make you more well known because there's stories about you?
Where's Ojabo?
He's on the Ravens. He played a little bit at the end of the year.
Ajaba's the Michigan defensive lineman that did the same thing
towards Achilles.
Towards Achilles
I think
year.
that was pro day.
No, is it the combine?
Okay.
Pretty sure. Here, let me see.
One or the other. But I mean, that timeline is the same. You lose your entire rookie season, which sucks for Andrew. And having followed USC really closely the last decade plus, he was a 6-year guy who didn't leave USC, was there through a lot of bad times, through the Helton years, stuck with it,
Right, it was at his pro.
and was rewarded with, this year getting Lincoln and All-American honors, going to the draft. I see him as a NFL starting interior offensive lineman, probably at a guard spot, and this is a setback. But the cool part of the story is that the dude tears his ACL doing, I don't remember if it was the 3-cone or shuttle or what it was, but then comes back the next day for the bench with a massive brace on his leg and puts up 38 reps of 225 with one leg on the ground. 4 more than any other player at the combine. 38.
That's... Yeah.
You and me laying down together, benching 225, how many reps we get?
Dude,
Both
how
four
about,
hands on the bar.
How about each of us?
10?
Yeah, not that much. How about one of us doing it while the other spots and is basically curling it at the same time as the other person?
I don't know if we can do 38.
I don't know if we can do 10.
Whoever was laid down would be in serious jeopardy, their health.
Yeah, Stephon Johnson style.
Or that Instagram video you sent me of the
Yeah.
guy taking 400 off the ribs.
Yeah, I sent Jack a video of a guy benching 405, and perform was great and everything. Like, that's the sad thing. Like, everything looks good. It just slipped out and landed right on his, like, abs. And he just,
More like his rib cage. Like a little higher up.
I don't even know. Just, like, around here. And he threw it off like a dumbbell. Like, he was unfazed. I mean, not unfazed, but he threw it off and got up and just kind of, like, rubbed it. But, oh, my God. It's one of those, like, you watch it, and it's just like,
I would have been pinned to the bench, potentially cut in half.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't have gotten up.
Potentially, I would have been in 2 pieces.
I would have melted into the bench.
Like Dewey Cox's brother in Walk Hard. There's a deep cut. Anybody who gets that reference, I love you.
Speaking of references, we also, the spoiler alert for Last of Us people, but I watched it here with some buddies while Jack was at the music festival watching Odessa probably at that moment, and we just texted Jack. We all texted Jack the number 22 at the same time, and he was like, "What the fuck is going on?" Like, he just got a text from half our program saying 22, and we were like, "Last of Us, watch it." And he was like, "Okay." And then when he got home, I actually rewatched it with him, and we watched Ellie from The Last of Us.
And there will be a spoiler.
Yep, this is a
So
spoiler.
if you haven't watched the show,
Fast forward 15 seconds.
5.
We watched
4,
Ellie take a
3.
machete to a guy's
I
face.
was giving them a spoiler warning.
Oh, no, I already told them fast forward. Well, now they're going to hear it because fast forward again.
All right, that was their delay. All right.
Fast
All right.
forward again. We watched Ellie take a machete to a guy's face 22 times in about 6 seconds, and it was pretty awesome. But that was a pretty crazy moment. And The Last of Us season finale is next week, and I can't fucking wait. That's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, and we can do like a bigger breakdown of the show after
the season
next
finale.
week's episode, but it just continues to pump out banger episodes.
Yeah.
Like, it's had maybe 2 kind of slower ones that were character development and set up, and then the rest are just like insane. I mean, the character development throughout is amazing. The music, the scenery, the set design, the costumes with some of the zombies. It's just really, really well done. Glad it's an HBO show. They've put clearly a significant amount of production and money into the show, and it's cast pretty well. And yeah, I mean, I'm loving it thus far.
I think it's cast exceptionally. I like it.
I've come around on Ellie. I played by Bella Ramsey. I played the game, so like that casting, like seeing her was a little strange to me, but she has nailed the character.
Yeah.
And that's been good to see.
She's a little badass.
And it's just crazy watching the show and like having flashbacks to playing the game and remembering specific levels. Like I remember when she shoots that deer in this episode, there's a level where that you do the exact same thing and then you have to chase the deer and like follow the blood trail through the forest. And I was just like thinking about that and how like vivid that was in my mind watching the show.
Were you a Walking Dead fan?
Never seen it. Never seen an episode.
Okay, I was into it, and this is like so much better. So like the character, I guess Walking Dead was more about just character development, and so is The Last of Us too. But there's just no with Javier Pena. What's his name? Joel. With Joel.
Pedro Pascal.
Yeah, but the character with Joel and Ellie, there's no like mercy for the sake of the script. You know how like, oh, should we kill? No, we shouldn't kill him. And then like the guy like fucks him over and you know, that typical TV Hollywood shit. There's zero of that. Like
it's a dog eat dog world.
It's a dog eat dog world, and they
world.
both know it. There's no pussyfooting
They're
around.
like, we got each other and fuck everyone else.
Yeah, exactly. And that I love it. It's fucking awesome. It's a great show. So, yeah.
Highly recommend for those who haven't seen it.
Well, Derek Carr signed with the Saints and got a bag from them, which I seem to be a little bit more optimistic than you.
Yeah, I'll let you offer your analysis before I come in with the other side of the coin.
Sure. So yeah, I mean, you said it's a lot of money. Like 4 years, $150 million for a Saints team that I think last year, around this time before free agency, they were like $40 $40. It wouldn't have been a problem. They were $40 million over the salary cap, and you know, they got Dennis Allen and everything, and they just did this last year with this whatever they had, the Taysom Jameis hybrid, you know, dealing with that stuff. So they needed a quarterback, and Derek Carr was their guy. You obviously made the point that $150 is a lot. Why do I keep doing that?
I don't know. We get what you're saying. $150 would be a steal for Derek Carr. I would pay him that.
Dude, I could use $150 right now. $150 million is a lot, and 100 guaranteed is you know, even more substantial in terms of like guaranteed money. And you made that point, and I agree with you that it is a lot of money. But if the Saints think that this is the guy in a weak NFC in the weakest division in football that's going to put them over the hump and make them a Super Bowl contender, like, to me, 50, 100, 150, 200, like, what does it matter if they think that this is the guy? Then you can make the point, did you see him play last year? And yeah, he had Devontae Adams and he had Darren Waller, and he was a negative on that offense. Like, he was a crutch, and basically just was not a good quarterback for them. It was painful. It was almost watching Carson Wentz. Like, the second the ball is snapped, just panicking and just backing up instead of like hanging out there in the pocket. A lot of that this past year, but I don't know. It was also Josh McDaniels' first year as a head coach in a long time, and I could really see him going back to how he's always been, which is kind of just like a perennial Pro Bowler. I think this year was his fourth one, even though he didn't really deserve it this year. But what he did the year before, when Gruden got fired 3 or 4 weeks into the season, and he had Rick Bisaccia as his head coach, and he took the Raiders to the playoffs, if you can get that Derek Carr back, then you're in business. Because the Saints don't have a bad roster. I was looking at their roster today, and it's not bad at all. I mean, they still have DeMario Davis, they have Cameron Jordan, they have weapons all over offense with Kamara and Olave, and I just think, you know, you plug a quarterback in there that's going to play well. It doesn't really matter how much you're paying him with the roster that they have. I think they can be a contender, especially in the NFC South.
I do think it makes them a playoff team and probably the division favorite in a very, very, very weak division. He's probably the only starting quarterback who's on the team's roster in the NFC South right now. Like the Falcons, I mean, maybe they start Ritter. They released Mariota. I don't know who they go with. They try to trade up and draft a guy. Carolina, they're prime candidates to take a QB or offensive tackle. But do they want to run it back with Sam Darnold? I don't know. I love the guy. Thanks to the Rose Bowl, Sam, but
That's a fun game.
I just don't see him being their long-term starter. And then Tampa, like, are they going to start Kyle Trask next year? I think they used a second-round pick on him, so maybe they do. But
Where's Carolina drafting?
9.
It's kind of rough.
9. So they could maybe hope that like Anthony Richardson or Will Levis falls, or try and trade up to like 5 or something.
But Anthony Richardson can't play football.
Dude, he's gonna go. There's gonna be 4 QBs in the top 8 or 9 picks.
They'll probably be the first 3.
Yeah, I could see it. And then Levis, Richardson, Bryce Young, and C.J. Stroud. I think all are top 10 picks, which is crazy, but I could definitely see it.
In a draft with Will Anderson and Jordan Davis.
Jalen Carter.
Yeah,
Jordan
Jalen
Davis
Carter.
is on the Eagles.
That softball game took a lot out of me, man.
Dude, yeah, you're gassed.
A long weekend.
Okay, you forgot numbers. You forgot players.
Yeah, I forgot a lot more than that.
But my opinion on Derek Carr, he maybe wins you the division, maybe gets it to the playoffs, and then that's it. And you're committing a bunch of money. 4 years, 150. I saw 100 guaranteed, but then I heard someone talking about it's essentially a 2-year, 60 million.
Yeah, there's like opt-outs for here.
Yeah,
I'll look up some.
And those clauses kind of go over my head. So 2 years and 60 million, I think is more reasonable. That's still a lot of money. To me, Derek Carr is Kirk Cousins. They're the same person. They're the same player. Good, relatively high floor, but relatively limited ceiling. Like watching him last year, there were just throws that he missed. Like whether it was an overthrow of an open receiver. I have this one in my head where he steps up in the pocket, has Devontae kind of coming down the middle of the field, and just misses him by like 3-4 yards too long. And I think that's just kind of a microcosm of Derek Carr's career. Like pretty good, but could be better.
You want the specifics?
Yeah.
So Carr, the Saints could move on after 1 season. If the season goes terribly and Carr isn't the guy, they could move on. But
I don't see that happening though.
But if that were to happen, like Carr's making $60 million this year, so that would be rough. But they could move on after 2, and he would earn $70 million. So he'd be making $10 million his second year. So if they have any doubts after the first year, the bad news is they're paying him $60 million. The good news is they have him only for 10 for the second year.
Yeah, and they were in serious salary cap issues the last few years. It seems like they're starting to get to the other side of that. I think they're going to release Jameis, which saves them significant on the cap.
The cap is such a fake thing.
It seems like every year, like teams just restructure contracts, and it's like, they restructure, like the Packers. Kenny Clark's contract, $10 million. Aaron Jones' contract, $8 million.
Because the players get money up front when they do that.
Yeah.
They're just giving them money up front, and they get to basically backload all this to future years. And people will be like, in 2 years, their cap hit's going to be so much. It's like, no, they'll just do the same fucking thing over again. Like,
yeah. Just pushes out money to the future. And then there's like that Taysom Hill contract that they signed with all the void years. Like, it's just getting... There's guys whose like entire job is just to be a salary cap wizard, which is so far...
I want to do that.
...over my head. I don't have that financial analysis ability. But yeah, the Saints are getting on the other side of it. I think they restructured Michael Thomas's deal too, and I'm not sure he's 100% back, 100% coming back to the Saints, but he did post something on social media about Derek Carr. So I mean, they do have some solid weapons with MT, with Kamara, with Olave, who was very, very good as a rookie.
Olave was awesome.
Yeah, he's a smooth receiver.
I like Dotson, but all those guys that the Commanders passed up on, Olave, London, Wilson, they all look good.
Commanders didn't pass up on any of those guys.
Yeah, they did. They traded back.
From what pick?
Like 11.
11. So they wouldn't have got London.
They
but,
could.
So they passed up on.
They passed up on Wilson,
Gary
Olave,
Wilson, and Olave.
and then I feel like there was one more, because Dotson wasn't the fourth. There were like
Traylon Burks.
Yeah.
Who went to the Titans. He
Yep.
was okay.
But yeah, Wilson and Olave were studs as advertised, and
Yeah, those two guys were good. Dotson looked pretty good though too. Dotson looked pretty solid.
He looks pretty solid, but I don't think he's Wilson or Olave.
Yeah,
we'll
those
see.
two guys are insane.
But yeah.
And then, so that's Derek Carr. I mean, we'll see. The Saints definitely got better. Will remains to be seen how much better. And then the other quarterback news is Geno Smith.
Yep.
Got paid today, which I did not expect.
3 years, 105.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's wild.
That is crazy.
That's wild.
For a dude to go from backup QB getting his jaw broken by his own teammate on the Jets to resurgence as a starter. I think he set, I don't know if he set a record, but he led the league in completion percentage this past year.
Fourth in touchdowns.
Had the Seahawks in playoff contention. Did they make the playoffs this year?
Yeah, they did. I think the record year they got their shit kicked in by the Niners in the first round.
Yeah, that's right.
But I think the record you're thinking of is, I think he broke the Seahawks passing yards record, single season passing yards record. I think the list was just Russ.
Yeah.
And he just jumped all of them.
I mean, good for Geno. 35
There we go.
million.
Yeah, completions and passing yards.
That's wild.
Yeah.
I mean, he was good, but like, how old is he? 32? I guess right around the same age as Derek Carr.
32. Yeah. He was drafted 2013, I think. 2013 or 2014.
That seems like an overpay again. And maybe my perception of like what the quarterback market is just off, and maybe 35 million is just the going
That's
rate
the standard,
for like a replacement level QB these days, which in that case, why didn't my dad just Todd Marinovich me my entire life to be a NFL QB, and what am I going to do to my son?
It would have been nice.
My son is going to be a quarterback.
Yeah, you're going to stretch him in the crib?
He's only going to play QB and he's going to play golf.
Yeah. My dad, I asked him if I could be the next Peyton Manning when I was like 9 or so, and he was like, probably not. I was like, Dad, you're probably right.
Yeah.
But, yeah. No, it'd be nice to be an NFL quarterback. Dude, honestly, I don't need to be a fucking starter. I don't know, I'll just sit.
Dude, backup QB.
I'll make $10 million a year.
How much did Chad Henne make in his career?
Our buddy
Chad Pennington.
Galen and I were looking at my computer in class today, and I was looking at the Saints roster, and it was just showing like the guys from top to bottom, like who's making the most money and down the list. And I was looking at the number. I think Cameron Jordan's like cap hit was like $25 million, and I was just looking at that like that's not a fucking salary. Like a salary is like $100,000 a year. Like this guy's like $25 million is what they pay this man to play football each year. I just can't fathom getting a check, and they're paid by the games, right? So 25 divided by 17. So and during the football season, he just makes $1.7 million a week.
Do they get paid during the off season at all? I actually don't know how the pay schedules.
I think it's just game checks. And then, like, I think you can, like, negotiate.
They have to get paid during training camp, though, too.
There has to be, like, something you can have in your contract in terms of, like, how and when they pay you. But, like, I remember Joe Burrow was doing an interview, and he said whenever he got drafted number 1 overall and the signing bonus was, like, $22 million, woke up the next morning with $22 million.
Can you imagine seeing that? Like, I have my Wells Fargo direct deposit set up and just seeing, like, that many numbers. I'd be like,
what would you do?
$22 million.
I'd flip my phone over and go back to sleep.
As a 22-year-old,
what I would do.
I think I would just stare at it. I would just lay in bed, just staring at my phone, not moving, just biggest smile on my face.
I would DoorDash my favorite breakfast spot.
Oh yeah, I would probably go to McD's.
I'd pull up.
I'd probably get a McMuffin.
I would pull up our the Throwaways breakfast foods draft, and I would just wait until I heard it. And when I heard it, I would know. And then I would just DoorDash it immediately.
Yeah, I'd probably get a new car. I'd definitely get a new car.
I'd get it. Yeah, I'd get a nice ass car. I'd call my mom and dad. Be like, yo, what do we need? Like in terms of paying off houses and shit. Like, let's just do that. Lara, what do you need money wise, Fred? Like school. All right, that's done. What car does each one of you want? Okay, that's done. And then I'd be like, okay, now let's have some fun.
Yeah, I would put probably 18 million, 20 million away.
Just in an S&P.
Yeah.
Just go with the market.
Yeah, I would interview some financial managers, and then I would probably get the boys a PJ to Vegas.
Yeah.
Or like Cabo. Or
I'd get like a yacht.
Oh.
I'd get like a yacht. Not buy one, but I might think about
rent
it.
one. I've looked into it. You can rent a sick yacht for like the small price of $250K for a week.
That's what I'd do.
Yeah. For the Caribbean or something.
And then I just get 15 lads.
Yeah.
And just where do you boys want to go? Group me poll.
Just have a time of it. Yeah.
Let's do it.
Oh.
All right. It's late here on a Monday night, so you wanna what do we call it? First down, touchdown, pick six.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay. Kind of coming up with these off the top. Let's see. My touchdown is I got the job that I've been trying to get. Found out last week. I don't think I mentioned that last week.
On the pod? No. You told me.
About Wasserman? Yeah, so I got that job, which I grinded for. That's pretty exciting. I'm going to be working for an agency this summer.
That is exciting.
First down. Oh, I made a delicious steak a few days ago.
Nice.
Really, really good. I guess that's kind of in conjunction with the job because I wanted to reward myself, but got a nice ribeye. And I was going to do cooking with Jack, but this plays nicely. Nice little ribeye. Got some risotto from Trader Joe's, some onions, some mushrooms. I cooked it in a cast iron, the steak with some, I seared it on all sides. It was kind of thick, so I made sure it was cooked through, and then put a bunch of butter in the cast iron and some rosemary and some garlic, and then was just ladling the butter onto the steak as it finished cooking through.
People are so mad at you listening right now.
And that there was a minor mishap before I cooked the steak, in which all the smoke alarms in the house went off.
We got it on video, so.
I may have accidentally heated the pan really, really hot and then put the oil on, at which point it flamed up and just created a ridiculous amount of smoke. But we're good. We pulled the smoke detectors out of the ceiling, so if that happens again, we might die. But
hopefully Kevin's not listening.
At least the beeps aren't gonna drive us crazy. And yeah, that was a delicious meal. And then my pick six. My tummy kind of hurt today.
Aw.
I'm still feeling it a little bit right now.
Sorry.
My tummy's kind of sore.
Your tummy's been hurting.
Yeah, today, a little bit yesterday, but mostly today.
Not your back. I walked in right before the podcast and you were on your belly with your...
The thing about that is the discomfort in my stomach has really made me forget about the discomfort in my back. So, I got that going for me. But, yeah, that's
nice.
what I got going on.
Okay, so all things considered, pretty good. My touchdown is that I have a lot of fun shit coming up. We're going to Vegas. That's going to be awesome for the first weekend of March Madness. I don't think there are too many weekends that get better than that in Vegas. Then my buddy from Argentina is coming to visit. That's going to be cool. That's the next weekend. New York for a week, and then Coachella a few weeks after that. So I'm going to have to figure out some school stuff. But I have a pretty fun 6 weeks coming up. My first down, I've been in a big country phase recently. And Morgan Wallen dropped an album with 36 songs on it. And I've been beating that thing to shit. So it's been fantastic. And, of course, my favorite track on the album is 98 Braves. It's a It's a banger.
Sick song.
About a 106 win team that ended up breaking everybody's heart. No thanks to the San Diego Padres, who ended up beating them in the championship series. And then pick 6. Where do I go from here? My pick 6 is... You know, we have a lot of school stuff coming up that I'm not super pumped about.
We get into like project season, and all the group projects are going to be due in the same like 2-3 week span.
Yeah,
that's
operations and supply chain management. How exciting is that stuff?
Yeah, well, we're done with that pretty soon.
Yeah, after this week.
Got to throw a project together this week.
Right. Just looking forward to that stuff isn't the most fun thing in the world, but hey, I decided to pay for the NBA, so here we are. Mm-hmm. But yeah, all things considered, not too bad.
We're doing well. If that's the worst things we can think of, then, you know.
If it were the worst things we could think of, yeah. Well. All right. Thanks, everyone, for listening. We're going to go to bed because it's time. I popped 2 melatonin as we were talking. Anything else you have for us?
No. I got everything I wanted to.
Awesome. All right. Good night, everybody. Thanks for listening. Talk to you later.
Peace.